will be time to talk about internal party intrigue at another moment.
Well, here we are, Canadians, back from a long weekend, and one question remains top of mind. Will Justin Trudeau be proroguing Parliament later this week? Or, as usual, will he lean into distractions like threats of war with nations we're nowhere near capable of confronting, all because he's basically eviscerated our military, economy, and overall national strength? Let's not forget, Trudeau is the master of trying to deflect attention when things start falling apart. And right now, it's all about him trying to stay in power. With Liberal MPs growing increasingly vocal in his abysmal leadership, it's clear that Trudeau's reign of terror is facing some serious challenges from within his own caucus. You could say that his party is starting to implode, but power-hungry Trudeau will do anything to distract from this.
Please. Okay. I had many conversations with members of my team and caucus members over the past number of days, and all those conversations were focused on the well-being and the safety of Canadians faced with these significant security concerns and allegations. The safety of Canadians is the number one thing that any government, that any parliamentarians should be preoccupied with, and that is exactly what we're focused on. There will be time to talk about internal party intrigue at another moment. But right now, this government, and indeed all parliamentarians, should be focused on standing up for Canada's sovereignty, standing against interference, and looking to be there to support Canadians in this difficult moment.
Instead, while Canadians were busy spending time with their families and enjoying a long holiday weekend, Trudeau attempted to shape the public focus onto Canada's escalating tensions with India.
I think it is obvious that the government of India made a fundamental error in thinking that they could engage in supporting criminal activity against Canadians here on Canadian soil, whether it be murders or extortion or other violent acts. It is absolutely unacceptable for any country, any democracy that upholds the rule of law. That is why we have taken such significant measures, why the RCMP chose to come out today and disrupt the pattern of Indian diplomats collecting through questionable and illegal means information on Canadian citizens that were then fed to criminal organizations that would then take violent actions from extortion to murder against Canadians. No country, particularly not a democracy that upholds the rule of law, can accept this fundamental violation of its sovereignty. Canada fully accepts and respects the sovereignty and the territorial integrity of India. We expect India to do the same. In this case, they did not.
Now, with Trudeau set to appear at the Foreign Interference Commission in Ottawa tomorrow, the focus is expected to be on the dwindling diplomatic relations with India. And while this is all very important on the world stage, Trudeau seems to be using it as a convenient distraction, trying to shift the narrative away from the mounting pressures back here at home.
This evidence was presented directly to the Government of India officials, urging their cooperation in stemming the violence and requesting our law enforcement agencies work together to address this issue. The RCMP is hoping to address these threats through our relationship with the Government of India and the National Investigation Agency, with the end goal of strengthening the safety and security of the Canadian public and South Asian community. The safety and security of our citizens, regardless of their background or belief, remains a top priority for the RCMP, and we will not tolerate any form of intimidation, harassment, or harmful targeting of communities of individuals in Canada.
The evidence brought to light by the RCMP cannot be ignored. It leads to one conclusion. It is necessary to disrupt the criminal activities that continue to pose a threat to public safety in Canada. That is why we acted, because we will always, first and foremost, stand for the rights of Canadians to feel safe and secure in their own country. We will never tolerate the involvement of a foreign government threatening and killing Canadian citizens on Canadian soil, a deeply unacceptable violation of Canada's sovereignty and of international law.
Why? Because his priority right now is saving his own skin. Avoiding his caucus and deflecting from their revolt is all part of his strategy to hold on to power, even if it means avoiding real issues like the state of our military and our economy, which he has done so much over the years to weaken. So, as Trudeau continues to dodge accountability and play the international distraction game, Canadians are left to wonder, when will this government finally start focusing on the real challenges facing our nation instead of ones that they keep manufacturing?
Based on information provided to Global Affairs Canada by the RCMP, we formally requested that India waive diplomatic immunity for 6 individuals based here in Canada and for India to cooperate in the investigation. This was done so that these individuals could be questioned in relation to the ongoing RCMP investigation into a number of violent incidents targeting members of the South Asian community, particularly the Sikh community, in many cities across the country. And you heard the Minister of Public Safety, my dear colleague and friend Dom Leblanc, mentioning different cities across the country. Regrettably, as India did not agree, and given the ongoing public safety concerns for Canadians, Canada served notices of expulsions to 6 diplomats and consular officials early this morning.
I hope they took some comfort in the fact that the RCMP decided to publicly take the extraordinary step of talking about this at a news conference on a holiday Monday, precisely to disrupt and dismantle, in their judgment, some of this criminal network. But I also think they need to understand that the RCMP will continue to do their very good work.
The answer, unfortunately, isn't looking very promising. With a prorogation of Parliament likely to come, it seems Trudeau is preparing to evade scrutiny and accountability once again altogether, unless, of course, the Emperor finally decides to resign. For Rebel News, I'm Tamara Ugolini.
It is extremely concerning. I mean, Indian diplomats and consular officials are here to protect the interests of their nationals that are based in Canada and their country's national interests as well, and not to be part of criminal activity or intimidation or coercion of these individuals. So we take that very seriously. That is, without a doubt, a contravention of the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, but also it goes against Canada's values as a society.
Demand Trudeau's resignation at TrudeauMustResign.com. His abysmal leadership is beyond reprieve. That's TrudeauMustResign.com.